Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Rome 2 Total War. We're going to be looking at another battle replay, again from Arius, playing as the Odrysian Kingdom versus, looks like this is a battle with the same person as the last one, Nicholas Chanals. And if the last battle was pretty interesting, Arius did the Spartan hoplite kind of spam, and Nicholas had Massilia, so it was a pretty cool fight. So I'm kind of excited to see this one. Let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm trying to pound out a lot of these replays that Arius has sent me, just because I've been spending so much time playing the Division and war games recently that I haven't had time to really do a lot of recording of anything else. However, the next upcoming week I have plans for some other cool stuff. Obviously the replays will continue, but there will be some other cool stuff as well. I would like to do some Third Age Total War replays, perhaps, even if I don't do the campaign. And I would also like to do Warhammer, the mod for Medieval 2 replays, more war game, and some other cool stuff that you'll see as it comes out. So, Odrysian Kingdom here, we have Thracian warriors. Is this an entire front line of Thracian warriors? It appears so, and that is going to be 7 Thracian warriors to for the front here. So pretty heavy shock front line. Oh my god, is this going to be a Thracian? A lovely little Thracian spam here. We have 2 Thracian nobles here making up the secondary line. So even heavier shock infantry. Pretty cool looking units. And then his back line here is Thracian Peltus, it looks like. And he has 6 of those. Just double check, make sure they are all that. His general is a Thracian Royal Cavalry. Does that guy have horns on his helmet? Good lord. God, it's been a long time since I've played Rome 2. I don't even recognize some of the units. I need to start playing it myself again. I've been very caught up in Age of Charlemagne. Anyways, then we have some Thracian Cavalry and 2 of those units, and I'm guessing 2 on this side as well, yes. So you have some Skirmisher Cav there. And it looks like Suebi has brought some Swordmasters here. Okay, so 2 Swordmasters on his flank here, and then he's got some Berserkers. 3, 4, 5 Berserkers. Oh, good lord. 2 more Swordmasters. Then he's got some Spear Levies, some Spear Brothers, and Spear Levies again. I'm guessing this other flank is going to be similar. Yes, 2 Spear Levies, and he's got his general unit as a Spear Levy. No, that's not his general. We can't see his general yet. Anyways, let's not waste any more time. Let's see what actually happens. This should be an interesting fight, though, honestly. All these... this is literally just a Odrysian Kingdom Thracian spam versus a Suebian Berserker spam. And honestly, my vote is on the Thracians winning. I mean, the Berserkers are pretty good, but they only have a total unit count of 60. They're going to have pretty low armor. Let's just take a look here. Yeah, armor's 10, melee defense is 66, so they have a decent melee defense, but no armor. Health is 85, and morale is 75. How does that compare over here? So the Thracian warriors have armor of 30, melee defense of 12. Okay, so they have larger numbers, less melee defense, more armor, less health and base morale, but he does have more. And then these noble ones, yes, Thracian nobles, 63, or no, that's charge bonus, 14, 55, okay. So this could be an interesting fight. Already my money is on the Odrysian Kingdom, though. He just has more infantry. The Berserkers are good, but there's only 60. They have no armor, so they eventually get worn out pretty well. And the Odrysian Kingdom has brought some Skirmishers here, which are going to wreck these low armor Berserkers. Even if they have this shield, still not going to be perfect. In fact, oh, here's the general unit here. We have Wodanaz Spears for the general. Oh, they do have some longbow hunters. Okay. I was curious, and my guess is they might have some more. I'm not going to go through and count them all, but I would suspect there might be at least 1 more longbow hunter. It would make sense anyways. It would be really the only... Because this build is really easily countable. Wow, what was I saying? counterable. Yes, Jesus, that took way too long to think of that word. But this build is pretty easily counterable with some missile cav and just cav in general, and skirmishers. So having some skirmishers of your own is a good idea, just to at least keep the skirmisher cav back. Once the infantry skirmishers get into position, you can basically mosh pit charge your berserk. Oh, which is going to happen right now, it appears. And you can see that the Thracians do have a longer line here, at least for now. No, it's going to be about even here. Yeah, pretty even size as far as the infantry lines are concerned. However, this line does have all these Thracian peltas here. And these Thracian peltas are going to be extremely dangerous to berserkers. Berserkers do not like getting hit by any type of skirmisher, and javelins least of all. And it looks like he's got his skirmisher cavalry here on the flanks. Lined up against him are some of these spear units here. But so he's not going to be able to get these Thracian cavalry in to take care of these berserkers soon enough. However, these peltas should be able to get at least a volley off on them. Or, oh, no, okay, so these Thracian, oh, there they are, Thracian peltas. Sorry, they kind of looked the same from up here as the actual Thracian warriors. But we're seeing here not as many casualties as I was expecting. Looks like just 1, 2, or 1, 4, 4, 1, none, and none. But I mean, it's still something before these Thracian warriors go in to deal with his infantry. So you have sword masters up against Thracian warriors and berserkers up against Thracian warriors, and somewhere in this mix are some Thracian nobles. Not sure where they actually ended up. Probably somewhere here in the center line, if I had to guess. Oh wow, these berserkers are going to rout this Thracian warrior pretty quickly. But he sees that his men are routing, so he's just going to go ahead and start chucking in some spears, which is good. He'll definitely do some damage. Looks like he's getting his skirmisher cav ready to start hitting things up, which is good because on this flank anyways, the spears are kind of advancing. He does have a few more on this flank, and he is winning out this area, so he's going to be able to start moving his men around and capitalizing on that. I don't know where the Thracian nobles went, though. Oh, there's a Thracian noble. Okay, so he's got Thracian nobles here. Probably going to beat out the sword master. But it looks like the berserkers, I'm actually surprised. They definitely took a heavy toll on these berserkers, but technically the Suebians did win this front line, but at a very heavy loss to their own line. It's just that these berserkers were able to continue fighting even with heavy losses, especially when they do go berserk, which these men have indeed done. They are biting their shields and screaming and doing what berserkers do, I guess. Should be interesting to see now, because now it's going to be berserkers chasing down skirmishers. He's got one more Thracian noble here that is being surrounded by spears and sword masters, but he does have some Thracian cavalry here, able to throw some spears into this area. Over on this other flank, we still see kind of the same thing. 2 sword masters up against the single Thracian noble. Thracian noble's holding its ground though pretty well. It's probably going to win that fight. We still have some spears here trying to counter these guys. And in the center, we have Thracian Royal Cavalry hit some of these berserkers and spears. Spear levies, though, so not too bad of an engagement, as long as he got a good charge off. And honestly, it's just these spear levies that you really see in this area. These 2 berserker units are really low. But he does have another Thracian, a spear brother and a swordmaster moving in. As well as longbow hunters here, but they're going to get charged here by Thracian cav. We have Wodenaz spears moving in to engage with Thracian nobles, able to get off a precursor. So 40 up against a full 120, but they're going to take some pretty heavy losses. Wodenaz versus Thracian nobles, even a low Thracian noble is going to do some damage. They might win, but they're going to take some heavy losses doing it. And he's used his cavalry to tie up these hunters and some of these spear levies here. The Thracian noble over here has lost, but these Thracian cavalry are still here, making sure that these spear brothers are not going anywhere. Back to the center, we see that the Thracian Royal Cav has won things out, but there's still quite a bit of chaos going on here. And this spear levy did not get a very good engagement here with the Thracian nobles. They engaged in a strange kind of column formation, so not going to be extremely effective there. But he is moving in more sword masters and spear brothers here. Unfortunately, these Peltas are just going to keep retreating, and Suebi has nothing to chase them with. Basically, he's at the mercy of whenever these Thracian Peltas run out of ammunition, as well as these Thracian cavalry. As soon as they're out of ammunition, then he will be able to engage them how he desires. But until then, these guys are going to rule the field, able to charge in, take out his longbows. Over here, it looks like one unit has survived. Suebi is kind of bringing his men together, trying to rally his troops for another assault. Thracian has done the same, gathered all of his Thracian Peltas, which are mostly in good health. Some of them are a little bit lower, but doing alright. This Thracian Royal Cav is about half strength, but they've caused a decent amount of damage. Yeah, 98 kills, so not too bad, not too shabby. These Thracian Cav, 84, 83, so all of those got pretty decent kills. He did charge in one of his Thracian Cav here. I'm not sure exactly why. Perhaps just to draw them away from his main line so he could start moving them up. Because he's got to start using some of his jabs. Although, honestly, Thrace... I'm probably going to just start calling this faction the Thracians, even though it's the Odrysian kingdom. But really, they have the advantage until they run out of ammunition. But it appears most of these Thracian Cav must have ran out because he's now using them more to charge and engage and harass back here rather than harassing with missile weapons. He's concentrating his fire now on the Wodenaz spears, which is a good idea. Take out that general. I mean, the Wodenaz spears themselves aren't the most dangerous unit on the field right now. They're definitely good, but they're not the most dangerous. But taking out the general would be a huge hit to their morale. And you can see those Peltas are just one volley, and they're already being destroyed here, just cutting them down. Yeah, those javelins are deadly. Back here, we're starting to see some of the Thracian Cav rout. I gotta assume that they ran out of ammunition, or else he probably wouldn't have charged them in like that. I mean, I'm sure I could check. No, it doesn't let me see how much ammunition they have. Excuse me. So he moved up his general to engage this spear levy. Spear levy's gonna die here. Not a bad tactic, though. I mean, it's not... Suebi can't just rush and expect to kill anymore. I mean, he really is at the mercy of the precursors and the javelins here. So this fight could go either way still, in my opinion. So what do we got here left? We got a Swordmaster, 10 Berserkers, part of a Spear Levy, and most of a Spear Brother here, as well as the Wodenaz Spears. And we still have 6 of these Peltas, as well as a Thracian Royal Cav. So if this comes down to a melee engagement, these Suebians are going to win it. I'm not sure why he's bunching up all of his men like this, though. If these Thracians still have ammunition, I mean, this is a lovely target to throw into. I mean, even if you miss your target, like, you just have to aim in the general direction of this clump and you're going to kill something. Oh, and here come the Thracian cavalry. One last good charge. Taking out some men. They're bloodied, they're beaten, but they're going to come in for one last hurrah. I wonder if these Peltas are out of ammunition. That's going to be a huge factor here. My guess is that they are. At least most of them. But either way, he needs to start getting... Oh, nope, they're not. Yeah, this is a lovely target to start shooting into. So if he's got spears left, he really needs to start hitting that. Okay, Wodenaz Spears taking some pretty heavy losses there. Yep, they're starting to rout. Okay, so this battle's probably over now. Yeah, with the heavy losses of this general, yeah, this general unit's gone. With that general unit pretty much gone, this battle's probably looking like it's going to be over. These units here are not going to be able to sustain themselves without their general if they're taking that much fire still. Because my guess is that these Peltas have a little bit of ammunition left. As well as the Thracian Royal Cav is probably going to be able to just charge this Wodenaz Spear and kill it. If he sees it in time. He's probably micromanaging these missile units at this time. Berserkers are going to rout. Unless they can go berserk, but even if they do, I mean, it's only 4 of them. Although, to be fairly honest, 4 Berserkers is still good. Oh, looks like he was not able to... He didn't notice this until just now. He took a couple of losses from this charge from the Spearman. About 4 losses, and then also a couple from Precursors, so... Not bad on the Wodenaz's part, considering that they were just about to die. I mean, if these Thracian Royal Cav had charged them, they probably would have died. Looks like he's allowing his Peltas to now engage the Suebian infantry. He does have more Peltas, so he's going to be able to surround them, even though these Swordmasters would be able to take him. The Berserker unit is gone now. These Swordmasters are going to be pretty tough to beat. You can see they're already routing some of the Peltas. This is going to come down to be really close. We have 40 seconds left. I'm just going to speed this up because we kind of know what's happening now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Thracians are going to win this. Yep. They just have more units now. They're able to surround. Nice. That was a cool battle, though. I really enjoyed seeing that. It was pretty cool seeing the Berserkers versus Thracians. Obviously, the Berserkers did really good on their charge. Took out a lot of Thracian warriors, but in the end, they weren't able to sustain their killing power, and so they all stopped at under 100 kills, whereas things like these Thracian nobles were able to get way more than 100. And some of these Peltas, the ones that were used slightly better, got pretty good kills as well. Thracian warriors, for the most part, did not do terribly well. They were smashed up pretty quickly by the Swordmasters and the Berserkers, but they did some damage to them so that they weren't at full strength when the Pelta started hitting them, Thracian nobles started hitting them. Thracian Cav, kind of a mixed bag here. Some of them are really good. And the Thracian Rail Cav, really good. So yeah, over here, the Spears, not so great for the most part. Swordmasters, extremely well. In fact, the Swordmasters did much better than even the Berserkers did. Longbow Hunters, not great at all. But yeah, you can see that was kind of an interesting battle. Kind of a... I'm sure they had agreed after the last battle, just kind of try some interesting builds, nothing, you know, not the meta, just, I don't know though. Honestly, maybe the meta's moved away since I've played it, but anyways, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this. I thought this was an interesting battle, and I hope you did too, and I will see you in the next video.